Hey guys, this is the Blackout trim install on my 2014 Chevy SS. This will be applicable to 2014 through 2016, 2017s that are coming out soon. They haven't changed the interior at all on these cars, and I really doubt they're going to do it for the last year for 2017. They might, but I really doubt it because Holden is being shut down in 2017, so which is unfortunate because they make some pretty kick-ass cars. Basically, this swap was to get rid of the chrome pieces here along the shifter, here around the navigation surround, and here on the bottom of the steering wheel. From the factory, these are all a bright silver chrome. Actually, about the same finish as that. And to be honest, it is quite blinding when you're driving in the sun and the sun reflects off of that. I'm in my 30s and I just don't really appreciate chrome. I'm lazy. I don't want to clean it. And this car, oh my God, has so much chrome on it. I did the front blackout kit with the fog lights, the upper and lower grille, and the side markers. I'll do a video on that later. But anyway, the interior was just as bad with all this gaudy chrome. And I actually looked on eBay, eBay Australia. Some companies will ship to the United States to buy these pieces, but there's a guy at Cairo at Holden Parts USA, and he was actually able to get me all these parts shipped, and he's in California, for cheaper than I could buy them used or buy them like in pieces and ship it from Australia to the United States. So I ended up getting the navigation surround, the trim, the shifter trim right here, and the steering wheel trim for like $240 shipped. I think that's still the same current prices. It'll be around there. Anyway, to do this swap, it's really not too hard. You know, honestly, for the navigation surround, I just use these plastic trim tools. I got these at Harbor Freight, a set for like $8, and I've used them on all kinds of projects. Basically, start out by opening the glove box, pull on this trim piece. There's about 5 or 6 tabs back here. It pulls right off. Do the same for here. Actually, for this part, next underneath the ignition start, I pulled up with it with my fingernail a little bit, and then I stuck this trim tool back behind it and pulled it back. There's three or so tabs on this one. Pull that out, and then so if you break these, you're kind of screwed because you're not replacing them. These are factory. But these pieces, the silver pieces, start up top and use the hook or use the trim piece and pop these out loose and pull them out. Don't pull from down here because you'll snap these. I actually broke one like a year ago because I tried to put a C7 automatic shifter in this car, but the shift knob, the plastic inside the knob is actually different, so the C7 knob would not work. So I actually ended up selling that on eBay. And anyway, so like I said, I snapped one of these already. Don't pull from bottom, pull from back up top, because that's where you'll get your leverage. Pull all those out. There's two bolts that hold the nav radio in. It's about here and about here. It was a 7mm. Pull those two bolts out, and then just start prying on the bottom side. With your trim tool or the hook, and just pull slowly. It'll eventually come out. Once you get the navigation, the touch screen out, there are 3 plugs on the back. Push in with your thumbnail on the top, pull all 3 out, and then the whole unit's ready to come out, and you're ready to work on that part. So take the whole radio out. There's about 10 Phillips head screws. They're about that big. They're black. They're really small. And pull all those out. Make sure you look at your new piece, because you'll actually see where the screw holes are. There's like just little little tabs that they screw into. Just pay attention to those. There are two that are behind the wiring for the seat heater and cooler switches. I actually didn't take the switches. I didn't disconnect them, or I just ended up moving the wiring out of the way and putting a Phillips head screwdriver in, and taking the screw out and pulling it out. I'll have a picture here, showing the hole where you need to pull the that last screw out. Pull those two screws out, and then the chrome ring can come off the touchscreen. Put the 10 screws in. Just hand tight. You don't need to be a torque monster on this thing. And put it back all back together. Push it into the dashboard slowly. It'll oh, don't forget those 3 wires on the back. Push all that back in, plug it back in, and you should be good to go on the top part. Now this is where I screwed up. I forgot those 2 screws, and I already put the trim pieces back on. Put the 2 7mm screws in. Put your trim piece, the passenger side and the driver's side trim pieces back in, and you're done for the radio part. The shifter part, I did last because I didn't know if I was going to have to pull all this out or not, but you don't really. Push these in. Push everything slowly. You don't want to break your part, your piano black parts. Push that in both sides. It's pretty simple. That probably took 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and I was just going slowly and being careful. Now, I did that yesterday. Today I did the steering wheel, and the steering wheel actually wasn't that bad. What you need to do is turn the car on. Make sure the steering wheel is, so rotate it 180 degrees. So make sure the flat bottom of the steering wheel is pointed upward. Actually, I have the key, so I'll show you it. So put the steering wheel upside down, turn the car back off, and then you'll see here there's 2 holes. Actually, they're here. Sorry, I'm turning the radio off. There you go. You might see them. Kind of hard to see, but there's 2 holes back here. And what you need to do is put a screwdriver in. You'll feel a wire. You'll feel something solid. Push that inward toward the inner part of the steering wheel on both sides, and the airbag will pop loose. Once you get the airbag loose, but not all the way out, well, you can actually pull it all the way out. But then push it back in. Just make sure those 2 rods haven't clicked back in. Put the car back on, and then rotate the steering wheel back to where it's flat with its normal how it normally sits. And after you do that, you can take the steering wheel out. Go in the back. There's a 10mm bolt on the negative terminal on the battery. Disconnect that. That's in the trunk. Once you disconnect that, disconnect the airbag, because you don't want that to go off on you, because that will hurt and not help the resale of your car when you have to buy new airbags. Not saying that it will happen, but it could. Then to pull this out, see the steering wheel's out, the 2 wires are disconnected. Push this on the floorboard. There is a wire harness for the left and right side of the steering wheel. You need to push in with your thumbnail, pull them out, and then you're ready to pull this whole trim and steering wheel control button out. Just be careful. There's an inner edge underneath the airbag. Well, the airbag's gone. Pull that from the bottom first, because there's three prongs that go into the steering wheel. Pull that out, and then slowly work your way up and pull all of this out. And then just be careful. Like I said, don't need any superhuman strength. Pull this stuff out, or pull it out, and yeah, you are now ready to swap the trim ring over. I'll insert a picture here. There are 4 screws. There's a T20 that you just use your hand. You don't need to use a 3/8 ratchet wrench. Take the 4 screws out. Transfer the 2 switches over to the driver's to the new black trim ring. Tighten them, like I said, hand tight. You don't need superhuman strength here. Once you get them hand tight, put them into the you grab the assembled assembly. Grab the switches and the black trim ring. Push it into the steering wheel. Again, start with the bottom. Actually, well, you can start with the bottom or the top, but the whole assembly will kind of fold in on itself. So make sure you get all in the hole started, then just start pushing it slowly, and eventually it just it just pushes in real lightly. Then grab your steering wheel. Make sure you plug those 2 harnesses in. And then grab your airbag. Hook those 2 airbag connectors in. They're color coordinated, so you can't really screw that up. Put them in the right slots. Push the orange tangs down and it'll tighten up. And then push the airbag back into the car, and then go hook up your battery and you're done. I want to say the airbag setup took 30 minutes, and again, that's just being slow. I didn't really have any good instructions. I did see a thread on the VF Australian forums. I think I googled how to remove VF steering wheel, and there's a thread on it. But that's more for changing the whole steering wheel and taking it off. And for this swap, you don't need to take the steering wheel off. I thought I was going to have to, but like I said, just take the 2 harnesses off and and just start pulling on it with your tool, with your hook, on like an inside edge, like I told you. And that's all you really need to do. I think for $200, I mean, that's kind of expensive, but it happens. What is that? Anyway, I think it looks a hell of a lot better than it did. I just wish GM didn't offer all this crap. Now, I know they're putting the exterior trim kit as a package you can buy, but honestly, I wouldn't pay the retail price for that if you can't. I wish, like, this takes an hour. I wish they did the interior too, but oh well. That's about it. If you guys have any questions, feel comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I will get back in touch with you if you need any help. Thank you. Bye. Here's a couple of pictures of the swap being done. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it helps you install it. Thank you.